Man, can't believe I'm saying this, but the Oklahoma City Thunder are your 2025 NBA champions. Man, I cannot believe I'm saying those words right now. The first thing I want to say though is major shout out, major props to the Indiana Pacers for giving us what was one of the best final series and most competitive series we've had in the past probably decade. I really enjoyed every game of this series. I mean, it was so intense. It was close game after close game. A blowout was literally a 15-point win at the end in several instances. And I just cannot be more proud of the Indiana Pacers and the run they went on. The way they got here was just incredible. So many clutch victories, just improbable wins that they were able to flip around and get to go in their favor. So, again, major props to them. If you are new to the channel, I'm a big Thunder fan. I grew up in Oklahoma, and seeing the big three of KD, Russ, Harden was just something that when I was a kid, obviously, I wasn't super in tune with basketball back then, and the more I got in tune with it was around the time of KD and Russ, the end of their time together. And I never personally thought I would even see something as great as what I saw back then with that duo. And seeing this team come out, dominate on both ends of the floor throughout multiple times of this playoffs. And obviously this series, they did not play their best basketball. That is 100% something that I would say, because again, offensively, they struggled a lot. They realized they need some reliable three-point shooting. And a lot of times they would just force themselves to drive to the paint because they knew better, because their three-point shooting wasn't reliable at all. This game was very much a story that it started off, very close, punches back and forth. And again, they were both slow to start off. Haliburton was going insane. First few minutes of the game, he didn't really do a lot. And then boom, hits deep three after deep three after deep three. And then the biggest story, obviously, is Haliburton going down. Achilles injury. It's assumed to be a torn Achilles. When I personally saw it, I mean, it just like ripped my heart out of my chest. Seeing him instantly in pain, punching the ground. That's one of those things you never want to see a player have to deal with. And it honestly just gutted me to see that. And obviously, it would have meant more to beat the Pacers with Tyrese Haliburton playing, and he was having an incredible game. But I think this also goes to say a lot about the state of today's NBA with the trainers. Obviously, the heart of Halliburton is something that's incredible in this situation. He went out there, he still played, but people need to understand, especially those, the trainers of the team, a calf strain is a very serious high risk injury. We've seen it in the past with Kevin Durant in 2019 in that finals, coming back from a calf injury. We saw it with Jason Tatum. We saw it with Damian Lillard. We see it with all these guys have calf injuries. They rush back or they're not 100% yet. And unfortunately for him, it ended up the same exact way. And I hate that, because it's one of those things that when will these guys learn not to rush it? Obviously, Steph had a hamstring injury in this year's playoffs, and he decided not to risk it, especially at his older age, because that's something that may not ever work around right in his favor again, and he may not be the same player. But I think with Halliburton's injury, this kind of shows you too that calf injuries are something to not be taken lightly. And unfortunately, again, it just did not end out well for him. Another player I really enjoyed, it was TJ McConnell. I mean, he was making me mad watching him, because he would just drive in, get a paint touch every time, and that little pull-up 10-15 footer he does, you can't do anything about it, because he rises up so quick and he gets the ball so high above his head. And he's such an electric player, and unfortunately for him, they had to try to get him to fill the role of Haliburton and kind of run the offense, and it just didn't work out how they wanted it to, because obviously, the guy isn't used to playing that many minutes at a time. He was gassed out there. And a few unfortunate turnovers for him in the third quarter, just getting blitzed, getting doubled, and like inbound pass, one of the times he had a 5-second call, couldn't get the ball in. And it really was showing, though, that obviously he was under a ton of pressure, being the only guy that could really generate offense, and the Pacers without Tyrese Haliburton were not really able to generate offense. The one thing I will take away from this game, though, Shea's playmaking was absolutely incredible. He was making so many great passes, stopping, spinning around, finding a guy, zipping it across the court, and his decision making was tier one, except for the fourth quarter, where not just him, but J-Dub at times, the team was just, the ball was sticking and nobody was getting anything going offensively. And I was just like, are we really about to throw away this 20-point lead, game 7? How in the world are you throwing this away? And actually, they finally ended up just kind of dragging the game out, slowing down every possession to where the clock just kind of ran out. But there was a genuine fear in my heart that this game was going to be blown. But again, I just am so ecstatic right now. I honestly, it hasn't even fully hit me yet. I was tearing up watching, the end of the game when, when the clock was running down, they're dribbling the ball out, and the ceremony, the interviewing the players, finals MVP, all that stuff really was a heartfelt moment for me. But I think whenever it may be, whether it's tonight, whether it's tomorrow, the next day, whenever this fully hits me is really just going to blow me away. And again, this NBA season was something that I think as fans, we have to be very grateful for. We got some very intense, incredible playoff basketball. The regular season, had a lot of great moments. And I think this year is something that is a good step for the NBA. The small market teams, both making the finals, as I made a video on this channel already. It's just something that going forward, we hope that more of these people can be heard, more of the small voices of these, little markets can kind of be represented in such a big stage. And again, going forward, we'll be still pumping out videos over the off season. So I'm looking forward to that very much. If you have not, subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. And let's go ahead and hear your finals predictions for next year already. Give me the 2 teams you have in the finals next year and who you think will win. Me personally, I'm going to have to take the Thunder in the finals next year, but honestly, give me the Cavs. I kind of like the Cavs. I think the Rockets are also a very solid contender. They could honestly make that push. Picking up Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant's deal being made the same day as OKC winning the title. What can I say? I just thought it was kind of crazy. Today was just a very chaotic day. The time leading up to the game was it was dragging along, and this was a game that I had a lot of doubts going into it. I was like, man, is this team really ready? And in the start off the game, it didn't look like it. But as the game kind of went on, some of the nerves wore off. You got some big threes from Caruso, Case and Wallace. Dort had a nice tough finish, and he got a really nice deep 3 to go as well. Again, I just think it's such an unfortunate thing, but you can't pin the blame of injuries on a ring, because again, then you could go back and almost every championship in NBA history, you could do that. You go last year, oh, Boston faced hurt teams. 2023, oh, the Nuggets played against a play-in team in the finals. Or, oh, you go back and do that almost every single year, and it just takes the fun out of it. And then at that point, why live in this alternate reality of, oh, this would have happened, instead of just looking at what actually happened? And I think that kind of kills part of the enjoyment of the game today, is that people like to do that. And again, I just don't think it's fair to do, because again, you can't live in this alternate reality and just try to say, oh, this team would have won if this guy wasn't hurt, because again, you can't paint a picture that doesn't exist. Again, major shout out to the Indiana Pacers. I best believe that, once Haliburton gets healed up, hopefully very soon, that they will be able to do similar things and return back. Depending on the timetable, you don't know how their regular season is going to look next year, but I think going forward, though, they're set with kind of their core. They have Siakam, Haliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, these kind of guys. I really like what they're bringing to the table. So, again, hey, Thunder up, as always. I'll see you next time, Peace.